Hello, how are you doing? This is a mental health reading for January. Felt like a good time to do it because my mental health's been a bit mixed this week. I don't know about you because it's strange because we haven't had a full moon, or I don't think we've even had a new moon this week. We have had the solstice though. It was a solstice yesterday, so it could have been the build up to that I was feeling. But anyway, I know a few people have been triggered this week, so I thought, yeah, let's feels like a good time to do the mental health reading. It's very dark here today. It's just like loads and loads of clouds, so it's actually coming up for, well, it's late morning, nearly middle of the day, and it's just really dark. But anyway, I'm just saying that in case you think the lighting's a bit funny. Gilbert's just pondering around. So yeah, I'm going to use the Goddess Oracle, and I'm also using the power cards because I thought a bit of power might do us good. So thanks for liking and subscribing. So we'll pick a Goddess card at the end. We'll start off with a power card. Mental health for January then. Oh, the Sun. Wow. That's amazing. First card, the Sun. So that's a yes from the tarot. It's success. And it can be a new chapter as well. Life is wonderful. Thrive through the power of positive thinking and inspiring success. Yeah, so it is something is going to be very successful in January, and it's obviously going to have a positive impact on our mental health. And it could just be even the breakthroughs that we're having with our mental health. I mean, I know mine generally, although I've had a bit of a mixed week this week, mine generally is so much better than it was. So much better. And I'm sure you're the same, because I know we're a collective energy on this channel. So yeah. And it's not so much about positive thinking. It's more about keeping your mind as empty as you can. And I know I talk about a lot on the channel about this, but Path of Consciousness, Ramana, Maharishi, all those sort of gurus, they taught really about just keeping the mind empty. Notice when the ego brings up negative thoughts and keep them at bay. Just, you don't pay attention to them. It does take a dedicated practice, but it's worth it because now my mind is a lot emptier than it used to be. But obviously we all get triggered, you know, for whatever reason. Certain triggers do happen. Well, we know what reason it's for. It's to kill that ego off. It's the ego that causes the mental health problem. It stems all from the ego. So let's have a look. Current mental health for, well, kind of now, I suppose. Okay, there might be some things you're hiding. You might still feel like you're not being completely honest with somebody. Or somebody might not be, no, this is more to do with, well, it could be, I suppose it's possible that somebody's messing with you and playing games with you, and that could be impacting your mental health. But it's also maybe you're not being entirely honest. But you're kind of over it. If someone was messing with you mentally, you're over it. And if you feel you're not being entirely honest about your feelings or thoughts, you're sort of over it anyway. You're sort of like done with it. It's like, oh, whatever. I can't even be bothered to let it upset me anymore. I mean, that's kind of how I'm feeling. It's just like, oh God, you know, I just can't even bother to entertain negative thoughts anymore. It's, you know, I can't even really be bothered to really, I mean, I can get triggered, but I don't seem to have the energy to keep it up anymore. I just think, oh, you know, I just haven't got the energy for it. So now, past issues affecting the present, new love. There could have been some kind of new love or awakening experience you had. Page of Cups tends to be new love, but it can also be an awakening or like a beginning of a spiritual path or beginning of some sort of path that you were very excited about, but somehow it just kind of like wasn't really good for your mental health, you know. Could have been new love, like a relationship that just wasn't good, or it could have been something connected to a child that affected your mental health. Four of Cups, yeah, I mean, you've been through a stagnant time, you know. I know we have on this channel, you know, we went through a very difficult time where the vibration was really quite sort of subdued, quite low. You know, that's sort of really, I mean, I started this channel about 3 years ago. So it was around that time, and it did last for quite a while, you know, because there was just such a massive purge, you know, right around all that lockdown time. Humanity was just massively purging. You know, a lot of shadows were coming up in the collective across Gaia. And it was just, you know, it was a hard time. So there could have been a relationship, a new relationship around that time that was affecting your mental health. You might have had inner child stuff, like your own inner child stuff purging out massively. The vibe was just very heavy, you know, and it was hard to really enjoy the positives because there was just so much stuff to deal with. And that sort of all affected our mental health, you know, it was all impacting. How can we improve our mental health now? Well, I mean, I think it's come on massively since all of that. I mean, it could have been as well that you were waiting to hear about a relationship, you know, you were waiting for somebody to express their feelings to you, and it just felt like it hasn't been coming. I feel like you're just so, like I said, you're so over those types of scenarios. And also, if it's anything to do with inner child stuff, you're over that as well. I know I am. Like, anytime my inner child tries to come up with like needy stuff or anything I also do with the past, I'm just like, oh, just don't even go there. I cannot even be bothered to entertain those thoughts. It's so old. I don't need to listen to it. Okay, so how can we improve our mental health in January? Well, we're going to have the Star card. How amazing is that? So, you know, it really is a case of, come January, we're just so much more in alignment, you know, and we're just in the right direction. Again, it's a yes from the tarot. The Sun and the Star, I mean, I want to say, like, the new year is a whole new beginning with our mental health, but it's not just coming because we've clicked our fingers. It's coming because of, you know, the hard graft we've been putting in the last 3 years or so. You know, it's been like really, we've really been working hard on it, particularly even the last year, I'd say. And so all that work you've done this last year is paying off, because we're starting off January with a much clearer mind, much more alignment, feeling more positive. The ego doesn't have such control over us anymore, you know. We're more connected to spirit now. Death cards, my God, it is a transformation. There could be definitely some sort of transformation happening in January for you personally, and you may notice some really big changes in yourself come January. I reckon some of us, it's like habits or things we were doing, and we just find that we don't really need to do those habits anymore. We don't need to rely on them or whatever. You know, maybe just for some of us, it's just feeling a lot more free and a lot more accepting of our life the way it is and being okay about it. Because a lot of mental health problems stem from the fact that we struggle to accept the way our life is. But, you know, apparently Spirit brings us a tailor-made life to help us with exactly what we need to burn off our ego and become the true self. So even though we might not like the situations we're in, it's sort of tailor-made to us to help us recognise where we're holding this ego and just say, you know, I don't need this. And it helps us burn it off. You know, it's not really a nice process, but it's a worthwhile process, because when your ego's not getting what it wants out of life, it's helping you to burn it off. So you do become ultimately, you know, your true self, like more happy, more, well, maybe not happy, but well, you do become happier, because the ego never makes you happy. It pretends to momentarily. But it's like, you know, you start to feel more peaceful in yourself if you've got less ego, more humble, more compassionate, just more at one, you know, more peaceful. So there's some kind of major transformation going on for our mental health in January, and it looks really, really good. Actions to improve mental health. they're saying, well, Gilbert, can you stop doing that, darling? It's really annoying. He's sniffing. Sorry, he's sniffing around in the corner, and it's really, really off-putting. So, 8 of Cups reversed. Let's pick a card to go with that one, because there's 2 different ways to look at that one. Ooh. Yeah, I think you're just done with feeling sad. You're just over it. You're over toxic games. You're over your ego. You're over pretending. You're not interested in having a fake mask or trying to prove yourself to anybody. Oh, you know, like, I've been through it all, you know, this is me, look at me, boom, 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 you know. And it's just a facade. It's just a fake mask, because underneath you've got a shitload of pain. We all do it, and it's just a survival coping mechanism that we use the ego to do that for a period of time. But I feel like we're so over it, because that 8 of Cups in reverse, that's walking away, and then that is really done and over things. I think that's the meaning, because this is over as well. So we're over it, and we're making better choices. We're building a more solid foundation. We're being more real. There's definitely anything that was fake that we were doing to prove a point, or prove something to ourselves, or prove something to other people. We can't be bothered with it anymore. And that's going to bring us a lot more peace, because like I said, the ego doesn't bring peace. Only the true self, the consciousness, can bring peace. But it's a battle you have to go through, because the ego is very manipulative, and this is why a lot of people think they want their ego, because it will feed you lies. It will try to manipulate you. It will tell you that, oh, but this is your preference, and this is what you want, and this is what you might get. But then ultimately it never brings you peace, because you don't just learn to live in the present moment and, well, burn off your ego, basically. So then you're not really ever getting to the core of who you really are. You're just kind of creating a character that you want the world to see. And like I said, I went through that whole experience. But we're making good decisions, I think, in January. This is a whole new chapter, because this is a new chapter. Judgment card actually does mean new chapter, but it's a chapter you've worked really hard towards. And that's what I said with the Death card being the transformation. With the Star and the Sun, it's not just coming out of thin air. This is because of the hard work that you've done for the last, like I said, 2 to 3 years. So immediate changes with mental health in January. Well, there does seem to be a lot of changes. You know, you've got the 5 of Pentacles here, which is supposed to be quite bad mental health or poor circumstances. And I think the thing is, it's coupled with the Sun. It's Sun twice. We've got the Sun twice now in the same reading. I think the thing with the 5 of Pentacles that I always really like is that even though there's a time of difficulty, you know, now there may be somebody in your life that's not very well, or there may be some issue, you know, that is making you feel pushed out of life, yeah? Like maybe you're not in the right relationship at the moment, you haven't got the right job or the right money at the moment, or like I said, somebody could be not very well. Tarot is showing that there is some sort of situation that's been making you feel like an outsider or bereft or poor, or you know what I mean, like you haven't been in a good place. But there are immediate changes to that in January. Look at that, the Sun. There's going to be, I would honestly say, and I'm going to call this reading a miracle transformation, because to go from the 5 of Pentacles, which is it really is one of the most bereft cards in the deck, into the Sun, you know, that is a complete turnaround. And that is for the immediate changes. So this is a miracle transformation in January. You're going to see such a massive shift in your mental health. Your state of mind about your mental health, the Fool. Maybe we feel like fools. No, I would say it's just like, again, it's coming under the Death card. It's a new beginning. There is a new beginning for mental health in January. It's so much better. Path to start feeling better. Oh, the Strength card. So don't force things, don't push things. Tarot was saying, just go with the flow, trust in destiny. Everything's predestined, I'm telling you. We always think it's things we're manifesting. No, it's not. Three of Pentacles, there's progress. The more you tune into spirit and you just start saying to spirit, like, I do know this is destiny. I do have certain gut feelings about certain things. Just trust that, because that is spirit speaking through you. You know, if it's to do with a particular relationship that looks like crap to everyone else, but you just know somehow you're going to end up together. Or it's your life purpose and your work and people just don't believe in you. Again, just because everything's predestined, and you know, what will happen regardless of what you do. The most important thing is just keeping our energy in the right place. And if we do that, then it's all good, you know. Moving forward, okay. So there's just, that's basically how it's going, okay. What's happening is January is all about us moving forward, and also just being careful to stay on the right track, you know. Basically, to round it up, you know, you've got the Sun card, the Star card, the Sun card twice, the Star card, the Death to the Fool, the Judgment, Strength, Six of Swords, right? What we're looking at is our mental health is going through a very rapid transformation. It's very blessed. It means we're moving in alignment. It means you're going to be happier. It means you're going to be more peaceful. It means that you're going to feel more relaxed about your life. And I feel like our trust and faith in destiny is getting stronger. And your spirit guides are helping you to see through illusions, okay? And the illusion is Maya, and that is the veil of the ego. You know, don't believe the ego. Don't believe the negative thoughts that it feeds you, because why is it doing that? It's kind of trying to keep you trapped in your old vibrations, your karmic vibrations, and that's what we're here to transcend. So what spirit is saying is the new year is a new you, the real you. You know, the real you, spirit consciousness, doesn't have any thoughts, doesn't have any negative thoughts. They're all stemming from the ego. Spirit's helping you to see through those thoughts and see them as they really are. They're just negative thoughts that the ego's trying to keep you stuck in, to keep your mental health down. You know, that's not going to happen anymore. There's going to be a rapid transformation in January where you're working with spirit and you're channeling spiritual energy through from the unmanifested realm. And that is what your priority is. And it's putting you into the sun, into a new chapter where you can enjoy life more, you know. You feel free. You know, you haven't got all this mental baggage. So there's just such a blessed time for us coming now in the new year with our mental health. Very happy to see it. The sun, the sun, the sun, and the star. Brilliant. Okay, so if you want to book in for a more personal reading, do contact me. And also, thanks for liking and subscribing. Peace.